Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you believe it? I have her, Paton Ashbrook. You guys know her as Jenny Sullivan, the lady, the toughest prosecutor in all the TV fandom. She has come here to sit down on my electronic couch. Miss Ashbrook, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I am glad to have you. And whenever we have the mega celebrity superstars, you know I've got to give you the Hollywood clap. This is for you for coming to spend time with us.
Can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm like, woo, it's been a long journey, y'all. Like, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, yes. And that's some of the reasons why we have her here, my audience. If you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Links is in description. She also has a wonderful IG and a Twitter. Her links are in the description as well. And when we're done, about an hour from now, I will put her episode on the podcast. Life Games Podcast is down there as well. Paton. Some of us have met and fallen in love with you from Power Book 2. But
oh no.
every actor and actress has an origin story. So what was it that got you into acting, and when did you figure out that this was a craft that you could grab and be a super talent at?
This question. I like struggled with how to answer this question for a very long time because it has been a long winding road. Both sides of my family are actors, and I grew up in Los Angeles. So I've been on some kind of film set or theater my whole life, like constantly. So growing up watching it, admiring my mom, do her thing on TV and theater in LA. And I think for a while I was kind of shy as a kid, or I felt shy. So yeah, I didn't gravitate toward it. I don't know. I was like shy, and then I was performing, and then I was shy again, and I just didn't know what was going on. So I did like visual arts, and I thought maybe singing would be the thing. And then I ended up going to a high school for the performing arts called LAXA in LA. And I auditioned for the singing, the voice department first. And that was like a little bit of a traumatic experience. And so the guy, one of the administrative people there was like, well, have her audition for theater. She acts too. So I was like, okay, I guess I can do that. I know how to do that. So I ended up going there, and I thought I might be a director or a filmmaker. And it wasn't until like senior year of high school when I really got the first chance to be the lead of a show called Dear Charlotte. And it was this lovely, like really minimalist, beautiful play. And I was like, oh, I think I am an actor. Like every school I applied to after high school every school was for acting, and I only got into 2 of them. And I got into all the film schools I applied to, but I guess something clicked in that play for me, and I just kept pursuing acting relentlessly after that. While doing a lot of other weird, like I worked as crew on film sets, and I've been in the service industry, and I've taught fitness. I've done a lot of different care, like childcare, but I've always been acting at the same time since high school.
Gotcha. Now, from what you've said, you also have some golden pipes. Am I to hear that? You've got a little golden pipe there. Do you care to give us a bar of the Star Spangled Banner or something?
Oh, you care to give man.
Let's go.
Me. Actually, it's so funny you asked me that, because I literally sang the Star Spangled Banner for the first time in I don't know how long yesterday when I was watching the All-Star game. I was inspired. Yeah, I know. Sure. No way. I'm not going to sing for you guys right now. It is 7 p.m.
All we want from you is one bar. You don't got to sing the whole song. We just want to see the gravity.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one.
Gotcha.
Oh my God. Blue. If I had to do one, I would do a Joni Mitchell song. So that That's what I picked.
Oh. Mm. So let me find out. You can go and make you an album on top of all this acting you're doing. Let me find out. So, do you still love music? While we're talking
I
about this, do you?
do.
So, are you doing anything with music along with your acting?
You know, I'm not really. I sing
Mhm.
just because it brings me joy these days. I play ukulele a little bit, I play guitar a little bit, and it's a big helpful release for me emotionally. I work through stuff when I sing, so it's become more of a personal thing. I would, of course, love to like have some kind of gig where I get to really dive back into that because I miss it. I've done, you know, musicals. I'm a theater person. Like I love singing. So hopefully one day soon, but mostly over the
Gotcha.
past few years, it's been just for me.
Okay. Well, maybe one of these days we'll see you doing some Broadway plays where you can kind of exercise your acting plus the singing as well. And you never know. We're gonna keep an eye on you, Miss Peyton. We're gonna keep an eye on you as far as that's concerned.
That'd be
There's some
great.
other things that attracted me to you as an actress as I was start following your journey on social media. You are not afraid to tackle some of the social issues of the day. You are a supporter of Black Lives Matters and the issues that minorities and women endure. Talk to me about what is giving you the courage to put that on your sleeve when a lot of entertainers are a little nervous about doing that because they don't want the blowback, black backlash, or whatever you want to call it. But you have been out front, out forward on what is equitable for everybody in humankind. Talk a little bit about that.
I just don't see any other version of my life where I don't do that. You know, I painted that and I painted that. Yeah. I mean, I just, there's no version of my life living authentically where that's not, you know, brought to the forefront. I think social justice is incredibly important. We're all connected to each other. And we have to all have each other's backs and support each other. And yeah, I mean, I have just always kind of been that way. I don't know. And I understand how people can be nervous about, you know, being so upfront about their political views, but I just never connected in that way. Like, I don't even think of it as a political thing. Like, it's a human
Right.
thing to
Exactly.
me. So
Mhm.
yeah, I honestly just don't see any other version being possible for me. It's just who I am. And I try to be as authentic as I can on social media because I think sometimes it's easy these days to, like Instagram, especially, I think there's a whole different world and things that people want to project to people that isn't
Right.
necessarily like true to their day-to-day life. And I think it's important as an example to like show that being authentically who you are and supporting what you support and being open with your ideas. If you feel safe to do so, I think it's really important to do that.
Considering I'm someone who has to deal with some of the issues you're supporting, I just want to say thank you. I'm proud of you, and it made this interview even more fruitful for me that you are willing to stand for some issues that if you decided you didn't want to deal with, you could completely not deal with it and just turn the blind
Right.
eye. It wouldn't even affect you as much. But
Right.
because you believe in humans, as you just mentioned, I'm
Yeah.
very grateful to have you. And ladies and gentlemen, her social media, her IG is down there. She did paint this. This is right there on her social media page on Instagram. Go check her out. And now, as we're riding down this road of learning Miss Peyton, you've been credited since 2008 with somewhere over 34 different acting jobs and
Yeah.
shorts and all kinds of things. And it started way back when you did a show called Do Not Feed. Tell me what that was like. Yeah, oh yeah. I told you I do homework now.
Woo, we're going way back.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So there was a period of time after I went to my first acting conservatory right out of high school in New York. And it was 2 years. And I had another year basically in New York where I kind of gave myself my own version of film school in a way, like acting for film. And I did 25 short films in a year. And I just like was constantly doing it just to learn and to get better. And I loved it. I really, really love how collaborative filmmaking is. I find it really exciting. And so Do Not Feed, I believe, was a short horror film
Mm-hmm.
where
What?
which we
Yep.
shot in New Jersey. and had to camp out in the woods overnight in the rain. And I remember, this is such a silly story, but I remember like the tent I was in, there was some light outside in the middle of the night and it was just pouring rain. And I saw these giant centipedes that were like, no joke, like this big and like the fattest, hairiest legs. And they were, all of their silhouettes were like all over my tent.
Ooh.
And I found out later that they had gotten under some people's pillows and like almost bit people. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. I have quite a few interesting short film stories, some things that I've done, situations I've been in, but I enjoyed the film. I got to improvise a lot. The cast was really fun. We had a great time. It was like, and I was with people who were my age. We were all like in our early 20s, just like figuring it out, or late teens on my part, but just figuring out this whole thing. So yeah, that takes me back, because I think we shot that in 2007 actually. Oof. Have you seen it? Well, no way.
I do homework. When I do homework on people I like, I get it. But that's not all I've seen that you've done. I've got something else I want the people to see that you did in 2009. If you want to see a younger Paton in 2009, take a look at this clip.
Oh my God, what is...
Hello.
Is this Beatrice Shepard?
Yes.
I hate to bring you this news, but we have the body of your father.
Look what I wanted to do!
You are the only registered family member we...
Yeah, that was a dark one. That was a dark movie about a dad who abused his daughter, and her, basically through her dream and psychology, was able to kind of go back and stop him from doing it to her inner child, basically. So that was a doozy. Yeah, I was right in that time.
Wow. I mean, you done invented the multiverse before the Marvel MCU came up with it, going through dreams and getting things fixed up. Yeah. And I highly recommend that you guys go and check that out, along with the other one that we showed earlier. She's got some hits. And now we'll fast forward you a little bit. You've played in 2 shows that I watched. One of them I really, really dearly love. You've been in House of Cards. You've been in Madam Secretary. But more importantly, which should tell you which one I'm favoring, you've been in The Good Fight. And
my favorite show.
And the reason that I love this show is because this is a spinoff of The Good Wife, which I watched weekly, ran into it, loved it. And I was upset when they didn't go forth with more of it. But then when I heard that it was coming out with the good fight, I loved it. And I caught you in there. See, I remember you. This was my first time seeing you before we got to know you as Jenny Sullivan. So talk about your experience working with that crew.
Oh, they were so great. I mean, and that's one of my favorite shows. I think that might be my other than Ghost, my favorite show on television right now. Because they're such risk takers, and they're interested in new forms of what a TV show should or could be, and what a TV show can and cannot say. They really like push the envelope with that stuff. And so I really admire the Kings in that way. And working with those actors was just like, I didn't get to meet Christine, but Kush was like delightful. She is a dream. And we just hit it off. She's so great. And I hope I get to work with her again too very soon. But I had a ton of fun. It was like 3 days upstate. I think we were upstate. Yeah. Got to play Republican, stretch in that way, be pro-life, I think, get into like arguments about pro-life. I should say anti-abortion probably, but yeah, that was really fun. It was nice to be kind of, I feel like my casting a lot has been sort of in that vein where it's like a professional, or like maybe a woman with kind of a stick up her butt a little bit, or a grieving, like a mom who's just like lost her child, or like her child is sick. Like it's kind of the two that I get cast in a lot. So it's very fun. Well, it's a wide,
Speaking of your casting, how do you select roles? Like what is the mindset or the process you go through when roles come your way and you decide whether or not you're going to take them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I'm lucky that I get a lot forwarded to me because my reps really understand me and who I am and what the kind of work I want to do. So it's pretty rare these days when I pass on things. The only things I tend to pass on are when I just feel like the female character is pretty one-dimensional, or is just there to be a device to the male character in the story. Or, you know, there's still the occasional, you know, role that calls for maybe some gratuitous violence that happens. And I'm not really down for that unless it's like, I don't know, it's gotta be absolutely necessary to the storyline. I really gotta get something from it. It has to serve a greater purpose than just like, this is how we're going to make this female character be sympathetic to people, you know? So I prefer like well-rounded 3-dimensional women to play, which is why Jenny Sullivan is so fun, because she is like, she's very, very complicated and not perfect at all. Like she's a mess. And she's also like really smart. She's a lot smarter than me and a lot dumber than me in some ways too. So it's a nice way to stretch, you know?